Hello, and welcome to Confidently Wrong, a show by regular dudes talking with confidence about content we have no right to speak about with any kind of authority, but do it anyway. I'm Wesley Nakamura, and as always, I'm joined by award-winning director Brian Redondo and Savon Jones, aka Captain Vonnie. This is episode 84, and we're talking this week about what we're loving. I'm not even sure how to describe this show. You're just gonna have to listen and find out how nuts it gets. I'm confident that it's going to be the best show you've ever listened to, and well, hey, if it's not, you can always ask us for a refund.
Incredible!
Welcome back. It's another week, another Confidently Wrong. I'm so excited. We got Savon, we got Brian. Gentlemen, How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Awesome. We're doing what we're loving this week.
I like that quiet sensational. That's good. that's very much your vibe.
Sensational. It's now, like we said, it's now an ASMR podcast, part-time. So when should we put in the what we're loving drop? I think I forgot to do. Oh no, we didn't do a what we're loving last time, so I didn't get to put it in. It's like what we're loving. I think that's what
yeah, with the little applause. Yeah, shout out to Duriel.
Yeah.
Wait, is that what
job.
it sounds like?
Something
oh my
like
god,
that.
I haven't heard it in a long time.
Oh yeah, it's been a while. We haven't done a what we're loving. I think maybe last time we did, I think I forgot to put in the drop. Anyways, that's not important. People don't care about that. What they do care about is what we're loving this week.
What we're loving.
And so, guys, I have it's not a typical one. Like normally we talk about a show or a game or some kind of thing or entertainment value. But Brian, do you remember when I told you about how I played The Last of Us 2 and you were just like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you did it that way."
Oh my goodness. You basically thought of every level as a perfect square and went up and down each subdivision of that square, like
a
aisles in a grocery.
Like a Roomba.
Yes, like a Roomba. That's exactly how he approached it. He's like, I'm going to open every drawer in this line, then I'm going to turn around and go down the next line and open every drawer.
I wanted all the materials because it kept running out. I wanted to make things.
What is the point of playing hyper-realistic games if you're just going to be hyper-realistic obsessive?
This stupid game only gave me one bullet for every level. What it was?
Oh my god!
Stupid ass game. Okay, but that gives you a sense of how my mindset gets sometimes.
Oh my god! This is the greatest thing, Hamza.
I don't think I missed a single material in the first 7 levels of that game. I think towards
How long
the end
did it take you to play that game? 80 hours?
it took a really long time. You guys were done with it, and I was like, I'm still playing.
I'm still finding more bullets.
This is also probably why I haven't finished Horizon Forbidden West. I told you guys last game I hadn't finished yet. I'm basically one mission away from finishing, and I'm just there's a few unfinished side quests that I haven't done yet, and there's some machines I haven't taken down. What is the notebook in that game called? I don't really know what it's called. The bestiary. A thing where
you're trying to fill out the Wikipedia in the game.
Right. There's one more question mark, I think, for the robot animals that I haven't gotten, and I don't know what it is and where to find it.
It's the final boss, you ass.
Yeah.
Well, maybe there's two. I don't know. Maybe it is the final one. I don't know.
I'm telling you.
Oh, okay.
As someone who's finished the game, that's what it is.
Oh, okay. Well, I've just been wondering,
you've sabotaged your own gameplay.
How many more things do I need to get? I want to.
I know exactly what you're talking about,
and I haven't done all the side quests yet. So I'm like, oh, should I do some of those errands? I haven't cleared out all the things. Anyways, so I get into this obsessive fucking behavior, right? This is a thing that I do when I play video games. But sometimes it bleeds into real life, and it's been happening lately. So
isn't it the other way around?
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
I'm obsessive in real life, and sometimes I do that behavior in game, even though I'm not supposed to.
Yeah, that would make more sense. All right, keep going. Continue.
Brian,
this is
you
great.
know me.
This is golden.
I don't know. Am I obsessive in real life over everything? I don't feel no.
I mean, Well, what's funny about you, Wes, is
Like, I'm
that
laid
for
back
the
in
most
general.
part, when people meet you, they're like, "Oh, Wes is just really chill.
Yeah.
That is a chill effing
Yeah.
dude with his Naruto jacket and Super Saiyan hair."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Man, that dude is chill." And then he's a Roomba in The Last for Us? Like, how do you even negotiate those two things?
The
I don't know.
duality of man.
It's not a good thing, but it's been bleeding into real life. So let me give you 2 examples that I'm actually excited for, and it's stupid. So we moved into this new house.
Congratulations.
Yeah, well, thanks. And it's great. The house is doing awesome.
Humble flex.
And we went and bought a lawnmower, which I'm not actually that excited for. So we've done the lawn mowing.
Dad achievement unlocked.
Yeah, and it's cool actually. It's battery powered, so it's not very loud. It doesn't have any emissions. You don't have to deal the whole like the starter cord thing, and there's no gas, there's no oil. You don't do any of that shit. You just plug in the battery and it goes.
How are you supposed to get ripped? You're supposed to look good while you're mowing the lawn with your pecs out.
Yeah, I see.
That's
like
that's
Tekken bologna pecs on.
No, I mean, that's when you put your tank top or you go with the towel around your head. Keep it, that's when you like if you gonna thirst trap. It's when you cut the grass. You got your shorts on.
But here's
Let
the
the
thing:
neighbors know.
Yeah, it's hard to be obsessive about it. I mean, we don't have very much lawn, so it's not. You just can't do it like super good job with it. I mean, it's not super possible. It's just part of the maneuverability of the lawnmower. It's not a thing, and it's literally we just don't have that much grass for it. But what you can get obsessive about, and what I have unfortunately been getting obsessive about, but I kind of love it, is pulling out the grass that is not matching the other grass. And when you walk around in our small patches of grass, there is grass that has like fat blades that does not belong, and it grows much quicker than the other type of grass that we got that is most of our grass. I think it's Bermuda is the normal type of grass that we got, but we got this like other invasive alien type of grass that grows really fast, and it starts to look like mini corn, and I don't want it in there because I'm like, this is a brand new house, and like there's only 10 sprigs of this new grass, and I'm like, I could just pull those out and then keep the grass pristine. Like if it was all over and it was like everywhere, I wouldn't bother, right? Because there's no point. But because there's like 10 pieces, I'm like, I could just pull those out, and I pull it out, and you pull out by the root, right? And when you get it by the root, you're like, oh, that's really cool. It's kind of like getting when you squeeze out a pimple and you get the whole thing, and you're like, oh, that's amazing. Like that's
very satisfying.
It's like that, right? You're like, oh, I got this thing. The problem is it's not just 10. I keep finding more. So, every few days I go out there and I pull out another like 10, of these weeds, but they're not weeds, they're grass. Like I could literally just leave it and it would look fine because it's some kind of species of grass. And so when you go out in our backyard right now, you're just finding pieces of grass that I've pulled out and then just left there because I figured it'll just decompose or whatever. And then great. And so every few days I keep doing this. And I know that I shouldn't because it's a stupid pursuit and it's just going to eventually it'll take over. I'll get too busy or I'll forget or I'll lose interest and then the grass will come back. So why am I doing that?
Why are you the grass Nazi over here? Why are you committing grass genocide, trying to keep uniformity amongst your grass? What the heck, man?
I don't know, but it's because it's brand new. The grass that is there is very nice. I've never had really nice grass. So I'm like, well, let me just try and keep it nice as long as possible. We bought this expensive ass house. Let's try and keep it.
Wes, you're in your Hank Hill era right now. I'm just imagining viewers. I hope some of y'all back home are fans of King of the Hill, especially because Wes lives in Texas, which makes it even better.
Isn't that also in Austin?
It takes place in it takes place in Arlen, which is not even a real place. But
it's probably Arlington.
Maybe, but the point is, I just imagine Wes just waking up and just, it's a good morning. I'm just gonna put a fake Texas accent on Wes, and then he just walks out. Just the camera zooms in, dramatic music to the crabgrass. Whoa! In fact, there is 100% an episode of King of the Hill about there being an anthill or crabgrass on his lawn, and it's he's freaking
emergency
out the way
situation.
He's freaking out the way you're freaking out, and so to see you just go full Hank Hill. Wes, you're becoming an old man.
Yeah, but it's so satisfying when you actually pull the piece of grass out that doesn't belong, quote unquote, doesn't belong. Okay, but there's one more thing that I'm doing.
That's a good grass pull.
there's this other thing that like
There's
I'm committing to
more?
doing this weekend, which seems also obsessive. So
Seems.
my wife's car, it's like a fairly new car. It's like 2017. Well, I guess it's 5 years old. It's a little Switch. And the paint is
That's a Switch. Oh my god!
I don't know. That's the connection I made.
So this Mario Karting everywhere.
Her paint, it's like a little bit rough to the touch. Like the car looks great. It's fine. It's totally good. If anybody saw it that wasn't like a car nut, they would just be like, "That paint looks great. Like, what's the problem, right?" But I've noticed in the past like 3 or 4 months, I'm like, "Oh, it's just like kind of like gritty," and I'm like, "Well." It's still a nice car. We're still going to keep it probably for another 5 years at least, at minimum. Like I want the paint to look good and last and, be good. And whatever. And it be shiny. I don't know why. I like, if a car can look shiny, like great. But I haven't wanted to pay for like a professional car detailing like, thing because they're like 300, I don't know, multiple hundreds of dollars. And like, I don't really want to pay for that. I don't know if we got money like for that. So I was like, okay, let me figure out like what I could do to fix this in some way. So what you have to do is you have to wash the car, first of all, right? Which makes sense. But washing the car doesn't make the paint like smooth again or make it good again. What you have to do is you have to get something called a clay bar. I don't know what that is exactly. It's not even really made of clay. And the one I got recommended, I like reached out to a couple of people who do this and like they were like, oh, they recommended something that wasn't even a clay bar. It's like a rag with like a special like surface on it. And so you have to like water the car while you're doing this process where you're like wiping in like small circles or something. And it seems like you're going to damage it because you're like just scratching your car basically. But
are you getting punked by car companies?
Maybe, but this clay bar situation is supposed to like take out the imperfections that are like embedded in the paint, like the grit that I'm feeling. It's supposed to be able to like lift it out somehow, like it sticks to it and then it like pulls it out of the paint, kind of like a Biore strip. If you imagine a Biore strip for your nose, but like for a car, that's kind of the idea I think that's going on here. I've never done it before. I'm like going to try it this weekend. But you got to like do it enough that like it takes out the stuff. And then after that, you got to like put on a wax or a polish. I'm not sure, something like that. This process is going to take like in my head, I'm now thinking like this process is going to take like hours. And
don't you have a baby to raise?
And I could be doing that. And I have a lot of work to do, but like I'm
don't
kind of
teach
excited.
The children?
Like if I do this well and if it works, the end result is this paint could be like go from like gritty and not cool, and it's gonna be like super soft and super shiny and like hydrophobic feeling, like like brand new clear coat.
So the car is gonna go from being a very usable car to being a very usable car,
but shiny.
But in a way, but in a shiny way that only like you notice specifically when you look at it closely and touch it.
Is it a Maserati, Wes?
No, it's a Toyota.
Oh my god!
So it's a 27. You're doing all this with a 2017 Toyota.
So
I'm not hating. I just want to repeat this back so you can hear it out loud.
Doesn't it feel like the obsessive behavior of my video game playing has also manifested in my real life?
Do you need to take Adderall or something? Like,
oh my god!
Well, like I'm kind of excited. Like, what if it works?
Maybe he actually needs acid or something. You need to chill out, man.
Last weekend, I added wax to my car, and it made it kind of smoother, and that was kind of nice. This week, like I would like brush up against I was like, ooh, it's soft again. So I don't know.
You need some CBD oil or something, bro.
Geez,
like
man. You de-stress by stressing out. Like,
yo,
there's something very wrong.
I'm concerned, pimp. Like, yo, what?
Well, a hotline for you to call.
I wish I could have seen me and Brian's face this entire time. I think we had the same just blank expression of just this man is serious. This man really. That's the best part. This is not a front. This is not a character. You really mean this shit.
I'm kind of excited. And if it doesn't work, then I won't ever do it again. And that's fine. But I'm going to try it. And I'm kind of excited about it. And I did, like I said, I did my car last week. And that was kind of cool. My car is brand new, so I didn't have to do the in-between step, the clay bar step. That actually I think is going to be the hard part. But this seems to be the biggest lever, guys. So if I'm onto something, I'll let you know next week.
I think what you're onto is something detrimental to your health, and you should bleed back into video games. That's what I think. You need to go play Stardew Valley and Unpacking and just OCD to your heart's content and leave it there.
You need a drug, but I don't know what the drug is. And every drug is just like, I don't think this would help. I don't know
like
if there's any
anesthesia,
drug that helps
like maybe that.
Just knock me out.
Put this man on.
Like, get this man some rest.
Oh,
right,
Wes, bro,
well-
never change, homie. Never
So-
change.
That's my what I'm loving this week is being obsessive about real life things that
Yeah,
I don't
how the
need to
hell
be
are we
obsessed
supposed to guess? I think you'll know. I'm like, there was no way we would have been able to infer this where the hell this is gonna go.
Yeah, pre-show Wes is like, yeah, I think you can see where I'm getting at in these notes. Like, nope.
We were trying to
think we're
debate
going
who's
there.
gonna go first, like Wes, because I want to know what the hell this man talking about. It was absolutely worth it.
And shout out to Welcome to Wrexham. Brian, maybe you can mention that too. It's a fun show.
Wow, hard turn.
Yeah. All right. Savon, what are you loving this week?
Good God. So again, we're talking about the duality of people and all that good stuff. Wes is talking about all his OCD to real life. I don't know what the hell to even describe that whole story was. But for me, it's the new NBA 2K. So as many people have known for years, I've been saying maybe the last 3 2Ks I bought ago, man, it's the last 2K I'm getting because
I can't believe you broke your own word on this.
And so, well, look, here's the thing, because I kind of like to think I stuck to my word for the most part. So
You said you were gonna go back.
well, so I'm
Okay,
sitting
think about that.
I'm at the crib chilling, not buying 2K, not playing it. I'm texting my brother. He just FaceTimed me. We're just talking on the phone, and he's saying, "Hey man, you got the new 2K yet?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm not about to get it this year." They on that bull. I've said on this show in the past how 2K has become, especially for the mode I like to play, more predatory in their practices, make it harder to get the currency you need to rank your character up. Pretty much, damn
It's the
near.
Damon Targaryen of games.
They just want
No.
you to buy.
Yeah, and
Right.
it's just like to the point. It's not even like if you do the grind part slower, but you can still be good. It's like now your character is pretty unusable until you get a big chunk that, like I said, has gotten worse over the years. So I'm like, I'm not getting it. My brother and I are talking, but all the other modes are great that don't involve that. So he ends up like, I might get it. Whatever we talk. He bought the game. He's talking about it. We hang up. Next day, he Venmos me $50 and it's just like, yo, here's some of the $50 to help get 2K.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Yeah, so my brother just
You got a benefactor.
shout out to my brother,
Miss
Blake,
Havisham.
Blake Jones. Not definitely. I don't even know if he knows how to
Your
have a show, do a
patron.
podcast, but he is. Yeah, he's the real MVP.
Friend of
And-
the show, Blake.
Yeah, friend of the family. He's my favorite / only brother, but still
You
gotta
got
let
that
people.
2K money.
Yeah, but send me that 2K money. So I downloaded it, and also we're gonna play online because all the
Yeah.
other modes don't have that like predatory nonsense attached to it. And so yeah, so I've been playing 2K last night, and I was playing this morning a little bit too, and it's fun.
It's good.
It's fun. I mean,
What are the
It's-
updates this year?
it's you know what? It's very
It's always
similar.
the same, right?
This
But
isn't,
what's-
and this is not the same as fighting games and other sequels. I think sports games are still pretty bad about having to do annual releases, although I understand why it happens. But I will say, like, just the gameplay and everything, it's good. It's slick, it's tight, it's realistic. I'm doing the GM mode, which is what I prefer to play, where you're the GM of a team and you can manage the team. And, it lets me, this is my OCD compulsion game, Wes, where I just learn all the details of the collective bargaining agreement for the NBA contracts trade. I take a
Oh,
team,
no.
I try to make them profitable. But also I'm playing games too. Like I'm still playing games, but
Management sim.
yeah, but
Good Lord.
so I'm managing. So right now I'm in that phase where I'll put like a podcast on or like actual music I'm listening to, and then I'll just like, okay,
do all the settings?
not even I did the settings last
my
night, but
God.
now it's the messing with the coaching staff. Like, all right, do I want a new coach? Do I want a new assistant coach? And they've made the games deeper where like your training staff can have like 4 different people who do different things that have different benefits.
Oh my god!
So that
Oh
just-
my
would-
god.
You
all
and
while you
Lil
have to
Cats.
all while you have to manage the set. Like there's like a your team's
No.
profit influences what your collective your profit is and how much money you have to work with. So you have a budget you have to set for like your department. So it's like, all right, how much money do I want to throw at my coaching department? Because that'll decide how many trainers I can hire.
You as a Pelicans fan and me as a Lakers fan, we are constantly thinking about that stuff for real life for the teams that we're actually fans of.
Yeah, but it's fun in the game because now I get to do the stuff that I think they should do.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. Okay.
Do they even like start having real coaching assistants appear in this game, or real trainers?
No, they're all
Lakers
generated.
Actual trainers are in there.
No, they're all they're
like Lethal Shooter. Is he in there?
No, they're all computer generated people.
Mike Penberthy.
I think they make cameos in the game and like the actual story mode stuff.
Nice.
But point is, despite all the nonsense with the career mode, that's all just like pay to win predatory nonsense. I like disparage it. I'm not going to touch that mode. The actual game is still really good. If like the coaching sets are complex, they have entire deep playbooks. If you're really into basketball, you can really decide, what kind of offense do I want to run? Do I want to just spam high pick and roll all day? Do I want to just play off ball and set up plays for Zion or so-and-so? Do I want to, rotation stuff? The game's so deeply customizable that if you're someone like me who wants to do fancy management stuff, you can turn that on or off. If you want to just hoop like my brother does, he just sets his game to, the 2000s era in the LeBron year of 03-02, made his own creative player, put him on a team, did a fantasy draft with all the best players in NBA history, and not every team is just stacked with stars, and he just plays on the highest difficulty against, every great NBA. Like, you can do that kind of stuff.
Oh my God.
So
it's like pure fantasy.
It is pure. You can change every rule. You can do play-in tournament. You can do no seeding for the playoffs or no conference-based seeding. So the good thing is that all of these modes aren't locked behind any of the just pay-to-win nonsense. It's purely customizable.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So you can get that content.
You can get that content right out. Like, that's what I'm messing with now. I won't have to do anything because it's not tied to the online mode where your career character is who you use online. So there's an incentive for, if that's the PvP mode, it's incentivized for it to be a grind and make it be pay to win. But you could still make your own character in a different mode, upload them.
You have to play so much in the My Career mode.
Yeah, it's
get your character to like not just suck.
Yeah, and I've been playing since
It's
2K15. I've watched it get worse over the last like 8 years. Like, I remember in 15, 16, you just might have to have to play a little bit, but you'll get your dude ranked up reasonably. I watched it get to the point like, oh, okay, so it's unusable unless you just get the deluxe edition with. Yeah, so don't. In that sense, for that people who are considering getting the game, don't do it. But if you're just looking for a good basketball sim, I always say the actual gameplay and mechanics and stuff are top tier.
Like,
my guy passes like 8. I made a guy who passes like Jason Williams. Now I was playing earlier today, and I'm just throwing Jason Williams passes, and I'm just in my chair like, oh, this is
the elbow pass. You got the elbow pass?
I haven't done the elbow pass yet, but
behind the back.
Someone just like the little pose, like you're throwing and do a little pose right when you're doing it, just all
white
that
chocolate.
Yeah, like doing the white chocolate passes. So the presentation is still great, and so it's still the Jabberwockies are the halftime team, so they're just dancing, doing their little Jabberwocky routine.
Can you manage the Jabberwockies? That's what I want to know.
I wish.
Can you add dancers? Okay.
Add Shaq.
No, you can do all that. So the game is still really fun, and yeah, again, shout out to my brother Blake. So I'm not gonna play that trash predatory mode, but him and I are definitely gonna still do our own league and play against each other. And
so it's interesting. You like cut off basically half of the game. I don't even know what percentage. But like the core game, you just
the story mode part
amputated.
It sucks because
you're playing everything else around it.
Yeah, but everything else around it is still good if you're not trying to jump through the hoops of a mode that's ultimately meant for you to be online. So I would recommend that for most people. Because these other modes you can customize the difficulty in a way where 2K is hard, like straight up. Like 2K is not an easy game. The other modes let you customize it to where you could know nothing about basketball, I've never played, and be able to at least have a good time. The career mode is a certain level of, because it's balanced for people to play against each other online.
Yeah,
like, if you're not good, you're just gonna get curb stomped.
That's a competitive scene.
Yeah, it's just not. Yeah, it's not fun. But 2K is hard, and you gotta learn how to read defenses and know. Oh, they switching. Like, basketball is complicated, and
I just need NBA Jam mode. That's all I need.
Yeah, you can customize the sliders and stuff to the point where if you want to just run to the thing and press square and dunk every time, you can. You just Which,
that's what I'm
like,
about.
But I think that's good if that's what you want. That's not what I want, but there's something for everybody.
I don't know if this is just a me problem, Savon. You can tell me if this is just a me problem. But when I've played in the past, part of the things I struggle with was like I can see like what needs to happen, and I'll like say like character pass, but the built-in AI for my character doesn't pass to where like I think the pass needs to go, and like it's not very good at like reading my mind. Even if I'm like pointing in that direction, sometimes it'll still like make the pass. It's like, oh, this guy's more open, so it'll pass to like somebody on the side, and I'm like, no, like there's no second defender, like that guy has the ball, it's a quick drop step, whatever.
You either have to icon pass where you press like one of the shoulder buttons, and then you can press the specific button for the player.
But
you
it takes
want.
so long, and then it's done. Like that window that I think is there is like now gone.
And this, I mean, they added a feature.
And it throws shit into the backcourt and stuff like that. Like, I mean, come on, guys.
So I mean, there's a bunch of stuff they factor in, right? Like, first of all, and this is something my brother and I talk about all the time. Just because you press the button doesn't mean that that's what the player can efficiently do in that moment in the context of the game. Like, okay, just because you say pass don't mean they're going to throw a perfect pinpoint pass at so-and-so. There's a million other factors, like maybe they have slow hands, If it's DeAndre Jordan with the ball, that's different than if it's Chris Paul with the ball trying to do the exact same pass, right? But also there's a skip pass button that they recently added. Some of it is you just got to play the game and get comfortable and get a feel for it. But when it's all said and done, trying to control 5 people on a court in a fast-paced game, it's just never going to be easy.
It is frustrating.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I mean. Like, it's unforgiving. Like, there's, no matter what difficulty is on, sometimes it's just split-second moments of like, oh, you didn't see that was happening? Cool. You just got dunked on.
Yeah. I mean, also, just like the defensive characters don't move real well. I don't know. It's weird because you want it to be like player input only, but at the same time, I want it to be like smarter in terms of like handling things that like I can't physically handle with a controller. But
you have to know the controls and know the limitations of what the character themselves can do. Right. It doesn't matter how good your defense is. Right. If DeAndre Jordan trying to go out in the perimeter, like whatever you want him to do, he's not going to do.
But that's true in real life too. Yeah.
Is he even on a team right now?
No.
Thank God, no.
He's just dangling in free agency.
One thing I'll say.
Drummond is still on a team.
Oh God, they're both awful.
Yeah,
they're both just awful. One thing I'll say though, as someone who
9 former Lakers not in the NBA right now.
Yeah, as someone who because I'm gonna leave y'all alone. As someone who thinks it's funny to watch people who like NFL football get worked up, and as someone who watches basketball and doesn't really get worked up because I like to watch it I enjoy the game. Man, 2K will absolutely get me worked up.
Yeah.
Like, if anything goes not in my favor, I'm just like, F this game. There's some bull. These refs cheating. I don't know what it is about this game that brings out the angry caveman goblin side of me, but it's I get it. I'll have to leave my NFL fans alone. They're getting hyped up on NFL Sundays. I'm like, yeah, I get it. I was playing 2K and I was guarding Steph. Just like,
wait, so just so I can gauge this, more likely for you to break a TV with your controller, NBA 2K or Smash Brothers?
Oh, I'm never going to break anything with Smash. And first of all, I'm not a break stuff rager in general with games. Controls are expensive.
I'm a game off.
Yeah, like I get mad. I just
put it down ever so gently on the couch and walk away.
Yeah, like if I'm really just getting cooked, I'm like, I'm just going to do a different activity with my time. Like that's easy. I'm like, oh, we're just getting cooked. Cool. I'm just going to do something else.
I'm going to rage.
I don't rage quit. I calm quit. I'm like, cool. I'll do something.
You could rage wax the car, Savon. That's always an option.
Stop.
Rage Biore strip the car.
No. But that being said, it would never happen in Smash. Like in 2K, I'm more likely to be the one on the receiving end of getting cooked. In Smash, at least with people who I know, I'm pretty confident. Like,
wow. Like,
hey, it's the opposite thing.
It just never happens.
Hey, my entire time playing 2K was me just getting beat. Okay, so I'm humbled in 2K because I never had a chance to be on top. Smash, I got to smell the peaks. I'm gonna be cocky.
What do those peaks smell like?
It smells like a room of you and a bunch of your friends talking shit, and it's like 8 ms deep, so probably not good.
That sounds like body odor.
Yes, like BO and salt.
Ugh. But that peak is named after Savon now. It's called Mount Jones. So, it's all good.
Yep, it's also the sweet stench of greatness and victory.
Brian, what have you been loving this week?
So before I take us to what I'm truly loving this week, I just want to shout out welcome to Wrexham, because Wes wanted me to.
Thanks.
The fun real life version of Ted Lasso. I like it way more than Ted Lasso.
Nice.
I also want to shout out Reservation Dogs season 2.
I haven't been keeping up. Is it good?
Might be like one of the best shows on TV. I think
I need to go back to it.
Season 2 is better than season 1. More confident. Yeah, it's up there. It's like that and Atlanta feel to me like really close for, pinnacle television right now. But I wanted
Both
to throw
on Hulu. See, Hulu should have won our streaming wars.
There's a reason why I said it was, sleeper best a long time ago. But whatever.
All right, keep going.
I want to throw a left turn because we never do left turns on this show. We actually have never really talked about music ever, I don't think.
Not
and
very
this
often,
week, I went to a concert for the first time in a long time at the Apollo Theater, historic Apollo Theater, Harlem, New York, where the legendary band Red Hot Chili Peppers played for the first time ever.
That's not who I would have expected to be playing at the Apollo.
No, it is not. I definitely saw some Instagram comments that were like, well, that's the wrong melanin at that show. But you know what? Like the Chili Peppers, I don't listen to a lot of rock music. I don't listen to a lot of white boy music, to be honest with you. But the Chili Peppers, oh my God. They are just effing amazing. They bring it like every time they get on stage. These guys are literally on the verge of turning age 60.
Whoa.
Like all of them.
I thought they were in their 40s.
But they probably look a little more like they're in their 40s. No. Actually, that's not true. They look like they're in their 60s. Flea looks like he could be on a coin. Like his face looks like he'd be on a coin. I'm stealing that from another writer. I saw a music writer type that. I just have to mention that.
Okay, all
right. But he jumps around on stage like he's like a 15-year-old on drugs. Like he's that dude's got hops. He's
Might
like
be on drugs.
He's slapping the bass and he's doing high jumps all over the stage with the back of his heels touching his ass. Like that's how he's jumping on stage. Anthony Kiedis is doing it too. They just like really, really bring it on their stage show. And I just want to give props to them because, after that show, like I hadn't even thought about the Chili Peppers in a long time. I hadn't listened to a lot of their music, even though they came out with an album earlier this year. But after that show, I was just so hyped up that the following next day, I basically did not do any work and spent all my time on YouTube listening to every favorite track of mine across all their albums that spans decades.
That's how you know it was a good show.
Made good albums since the 80s and every decade after that. So that's 80s, 90s, aughts, 2010s, 2020s. That's 5 decades of albums, and they're all high quality. Just like really, really good music. They know how to make songs. Flea is always bringing the heat with his incredible infectious bass lines. And then you got John Frusciante, who's adding amazing lead guitar action. Anthony Kiedis doing his like crazy, weird, like poetry rap, but sometimes singing.
Frusciante?
Yeah, Frusciante.
I used to work with his niece.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, keep going. Sorry, I forgot.
Is she an oddball?
She is, but she's also adopted Korean.
Oh.
Yeah.
Also unexpected.
Yeah.
Also unexpected.
That's crazy. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
So,
I forgot about that they were related.
Yeah, so John Frusciante has left the band multiple times to deal with various drug addictions, but he keeps coming back. And every time he comes back, the Chili Peppers just put out more heat. And suddenly they're reinvigorated, and you can tell by their shows. Like they're doing a whole tour this year where they've just been hitting up football stadium after football stadium. And selling out. If you look at the tickets, they're like $300 or whatever for a ticket to one of these shows. And then you're just then you get there and there's just like a speck in the distance,
Yeah.
right on the horizon.
But the Apollo is much smaller.
Essentially. So, but the Apollo is a very intimate place. And shout out to my sister for hooking it up with free tickets in the orchestra.
Ooh.
So,
Wow.
you know, I was seeing
Nose hairs.
pectorals.
Pectorals.
You know, I was like, Anthony Kiedis, you're on the age of 60, but why are you cut, my friend? That dude is juicing.
He's on that Frank Thomas, extra testosterone protein.
Mike Bibby diet.
Yeah, Mike Bibby diet.
But the size of his forehead looks the same. So like, I think that's good. So like somehow he's still slim.
More features.
So you know they rock out, but you know just like thinking about the very fact that these guys have not really missed a step and have put out quality music for 5 decades is something I want to give props to. I want to give them their flowers where it's due. But it also makes me think about how we're in this age where there are other artists doing similar things. Like I want to call out Nas as well. Nas put out 2 albums last year. He's got another album coming this year. He won his first Grammy 2 years ago. But this guy has also been putting out heat every single decade for like 40 years.
Yep,
like,
I'm with you, bro. Nas is one of my first favorite rappers, bro. I'm a huge Nas fan. Don't get me started.
Top 3, top 2 MC. Like, oh my god, like Nas.
Life is Good was
crazy.
Good.
Life is Good is amazing. King's Disease 1, King's Disease 2. Speaking of like good sequels,
Ooh.
King's Disease 2 is even better. Magic was amazing. He put out a track this year with Primo, him and DJ Premier collaborating again, and that was like straight fire. He's gonna have another album with Hit Boy coming out, King's Disease 3. Like this is unheard of. Like artists just like still like it's not even about them being in their prime, but basically them evolving their craft over decades and decades of artistry. Mm-hmm. And I think that like that is something unusual, right? Like you hear about kind of like, I don't know, Grateful Dead or Rolling Stones still doing tours, but they're essentially just replaying their same hits from 50 years ago. But these guys are creating new hits, right? They're still evolving their craft, right? And so you got Nas doing that. You also got Black Thought from The Roots, who put out fire this year. Him and Danger Mouse have a record called Cheat Codes that came out. I think it's probably one of the best rap albums of the year. And you know, Black Thought is somebody. He's probably maybe the best example of this because he's actually gotten noticeably better now. He's like way better now. He
clearly practices and works at his craft. Like it's not absolutely. Just like he doesn't like for the money, but like it's clearly like I also care about being better at this thing that I'm known for.
Yeah. He's not just like dropping a random verse here and there just because like he can. Like this dude, you can tell he's going back and studying text. He's studying rap verses, practicing them. Like I know he's done a whole show where he just does Big Daddy Kane. Like he did that like 10 years ago or something like that. And then so now he's coming back doing his own stuff, working with a different producer, which I think also brings something out of him. And just like he's just miles and miles away better than when he first came out in the 90s. Like that's just real.
People just get better at rapping.
And so like, you know, these are old heads. Like these guys are, I mean, they're AARP ready. Like they're on the verge of getting discounts at movies. The Chili Peppers already are. These other guys on that precipice.
McDonald's senior coffee.
Oh god. Yeah. They're showing up for grandparents' day at school.
I mean,
that's been happened, yeah. For all of them.
For sure. Maybe great grandparents in some cases. Chili Peppers, I could definitely see that.
Oh, Brian, one thing I'll say to all that is it's particularly fun to see it happen, at least for me, with rap music and hip hop, because that, especially in the context of a lot of contemporary music, is a much younger genre.
Yeah,
and so
exactly.
You don't have like, you know, there's a lot of people who made like rock music and stuff who are legit like old, and you know, there's musicians like, you know, even what Elton John,
Paul McCartney.
Who, like they've been, you know, they're older. But it's interesting to see hip hop and rap, which, you know, even for some of the OGs, that was like the 80s, 90s, see like, all right, cool. now we're really starting to see what the long game looks like for hip hop and rap. And I don't know if it's something about the genre or what it is, but it gives the artist a lot of room to evolve or to not evolve too. But it really does let you separate the wheat from the chaff in terms of like, hey, the truly great ones evolve their game and stay relevant and reinvent themselves as need be. And yeah, watching Nas go from making, Illmatic to music about being a dad and parent and talk about old man stuff regularly. I'm like, yo, this is good for you, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like he still does talk about some of the same content, right? He still does like, sort of like the street narratives and whatever. But as you said, he is also adding to it, like, about, parenting, about dealing with old man problems, like having too much money. Also like having, he talks about having gout, right? Like, which is what King's disease is, King's disease is the nickname for having gout, right? And so like he's adding more dimensions to his craft, and I think the genre, like hip hop as a genre, is just maturing, right? Like we're like 50 years removed almost from its founding in the 70s, and yes, it's still a young person's game,
for sure.
But it's so nice to see the pioneers really maintain the craft and actually provide this compass for everybody else. Like, oh no, you don't have to burn out after a few hits in one era. You can continue to grow and express yourself within the art form, and remember that it is an art form and not just cultural content, pop creation, whatever. You can express yourself in the art form and continue to elevate the game all around. And so, I'm looking forward to another good decade, maybe multiple decades of some of these artists. And like hear them start singing and rapping about some geriatric stuff.
This hip hop,
let's have it.
Rap has like a legit older audience now. That audience has matured, like even like Jadakiss had an album that came out a couple years ago.
Jadakiss, like
Pusha
T came out with a new album this year.
Granted, Pusha T has
he's
not
a little younger.
Not even age. Pusha T has not. He's gotten better at rapping. He has not changed his subject matter. But like,
is RZA still putting stuff out?
I mean,
he would also be sort of in that older.
Occasionally, he's not making as much noise though. I don't think. Like when he puts something out, it doesn't feel like a moment that a lot of the rest of the hip hop community is like really paying attention to.
Well, the way and like other genres, though, part of this is affected by folks passing away, right? Like to have a long career, you have to have your group stay together. But like a Tribe Called Quest, usually, right? Like one of those guys has passed away.
They also hated each other for a long time. Yeah, I mean that's usually what happens, right? Like the money gets in the way.
Yeah.
Money gets in the way.
People like Outkast could still be putting out stuff if they were together, but
people die.
But Outkast, but it's different for each person, right? Like Andre just didn't like being in the spotlight, and Big Boy actively. I think he's a great example too of. I know, like Big Boy's solo career has been extremely underrated. Like I think all of his solo albums have been like some of my favorite hip hop works. Like Sir Lucius Left Foot, all time great album. So there's actually, I think, a better track record than we realize. I think for some of us, it's easy to forget because we grew up to it. But I think when you talk to younger fans, I think it becomes more obvious of like, oh, they don't listen to any of these artists, which is fine. But it just means that now we have legit, like hip hop used to be the counterculture, but now, okay, you got 50, 60-year-olds who grew up to hip hop too. It's kind of gone into the direction rock has gone, right? Where you got like the dad rock and classic rock. I was like, hey, we're solidly with that in rap music. Like there's solidly old man rap now, or old people rap.
Old people rap.
Grown adult rap.
It's oldies. It's going to be on K Earth 101 in California. Wait, so so teach me something, because I'm not as involved in any type of music, right? You guys know I like Ed Sheeran and pop music, and
my God, I can't believe you just admitted to that.
Yeah, you don't get it.
I'm familiar, but not, I'm not into it. So, like, is there anybody who's today, or maybe just in the past 10 years or whatever, who you think would have a shot to now be on that same Mount Rushmore of like longevity and greatness that like you're talking about for these other artists like Nas? So is someone like Kanye going to be still producing music in 20 years in the future and it's still going to be great? Is Jay-Z still going to be still making really good music? Is I don't know who else we could put on that list.
I would argue that Jay-Z stopped making really good music a while ago.
Yeah, maybe.
But in terms of the younger generation,
Drake is
444 was like one of his greatest albums, period. Like, I think 444 fits exactly into the conversation we had about mature albums that are introspective and, regardless of whether you're a huge Jay-Z fan.
I don't love it. I'm not a big Jay-Z fan anyway, so
I think he still belongs in the I think he belongs in the conversation, even if you're not a fan of him. Like, I think he's put out, like, West, to your question, I think he's put out enough music through enough eras and still at least been remotely relevant to where you gotta give props and props.
Because he'd be at like 3 decades now, right? He's like late 90s.
He's 4 decades.
Yeah.
You think he was into
he was in the mid 90s.
Oh yeah, okay.
He was like
90s, aughts, 10s.
I mean, he's just slightly younger than Nas in terms of like how long they've been on the scene.
Yeah.
But I think for this
famous
the younger generation, hands down is Kendrick Lamar. Like he's built to last, right?
Yeah.
This guy has
it's not high like
he's been making music for like 13 years now. I mean, he's been making music for like 13 plus years at this point. Like,
I mean, almost every album he's made is a classic, instant classic. And then, and I mean, it's just the way it's about how he approaches the craft, right? You can tell that this guy is really in it for the culture.
Yeah.
He puts a lot of effort into not just his raps, but also how he creates songs and albums. And so I think a guy like that, who's clearly, just like a huge brain, essentially, right? In the way that Nas is, like, he's gonna have things to say for the rest of his life, and gonna have that desire to keep creating. I imagine, I don't think he's the type of person to be satisfied by, I got all my hits, I got a Grammy, I'm good. He's gonna keep doing it for other reasons. So he's definitely in that vein.
J. Cole's, I think J. Cole's in that conversation. I think, again, this is one of those, and maybe this is some of my generation bleeding in too, but you're starting to a lot like people being relevant for 10 years plus is hard. I don't think people realize how hard that is. So even artists who came out when I was like in the beginning of college in 2011, so people have fallen off, and some people like Kendrick Lamar, when he really burst into the scene, have solidified their status. I think artists like Lil Wayne belong in that conversation, even if the quality of music you can say is debatable. The amount of eras that man made music, same, right? 90s, 2000s, 2010s, 2020s.
Is he still going to be around?
And I do think he gets better
making good music.
I mean, Lil Wayne is still great on a feature verse. Like, you put Lil Wayne on a verse, like, I've listened to enough Lil Wayne to know he can still rap, but also he's done it all. Like, there's nothing left for him to do, so you're not really probably gonna get a super introspective album because he's just put out such an absurd catalog. But for me, you get in that conversation when rappers say, "Hey, you were my favorite, you were my inspiration growing up," type stuff. You're in that conversation. Like Kendrick Lamar say, "Hey, Wayne was my favorite rapper." There's lots of it's fun. Lil Wayne, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, even Kanye. I think his music is falling off, but I think his still production and impact on the culture through the decades, you can't ignore it. Like, not about who you like. It's about, as much as I'm not a huge fan, Drake has to be in that conversation just from the sheer volume of music.
I hate Drake so much.
I'm not a big Drake fan, but look, here's the thing. The dude knows how to make appealing, fun music, and also the dude got bars. Like, when Drake decides, all right, I'm about to drop a fire 16, he could kill somebody on their track. Like, it's easy to meme him, but he's self-aware, knows how to play the funny part and silly stuff, make the love songs. Like, Drake not going nowhere. You got to put him in that conversation too.
Yeah, I wonder about Kanye. Like,
Kanye also self-sabotaging with his behavior.
Yeah. I mean, he's like the Kyrie of music.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, yes.
So much talent, but he just like gets in his own way. He might as well be like Plexico Burress and shoot himself in the foot. That's why I actually don't know about his longevity, because I mean, like, his own life and ego might get in the way.
It's very chaotic.
Yeah, but you got it. Dude, people forget all your favorite Jay-Z and Nas tracks from like the 90s. That was Kanye producing that. Like,
oh yeah.
That was Kanye.
And let's not forget the Neptunes, right? Pharrell has also been the architect for a lot of these tracks from then till now.
A lot of the greats also, they do behind the scenes work. Like, it's easy to think, oh, do they have hits? I'm like, hey, Kanye is the reason a bunch of people's greatest hits were so popular. Like, all the big Jay-Z tracks, I'm like, I promise you, Kanye did that beat, and that's a big part of why this album was successful.
Yeah,
but we
will
also
he put out anything on his own?
Oh no, his personal music is falling off a cliff.
Like, yeah.
But also, we let who we like get in the way of who's still an all-time great. Like, I don't like Kyrie. You can't pretend like that man ain't an absolute baller and wouldn't still just isn't one of the best basketball players of all time. Like, you don't gotta like him, but you gotta respect him. You know, can't knock the hustle.
Absolutely. But that's the thing, right? Like, if you're not available, then you don't have that the part we're talking about is longevity, right? Not like peak greatness, but that longevity part. Like, will it be there for either one of these guys? Like,
longevity?
Yeah, it's
longevity is the word. It's okay, Wes.
Don't use that in a classroom. You're gonna mess your kids up.
Yeah, that's really to help you with the kids.
You're just setting them up to get barbed later.
What did I say?
We're just not even on. It's okay. Don't worry.
Longevity.
Okay.
Longevity does sound better. You're right. All right. Thanks for the correction. So, should we wrap up there? Anything else that we're loving? Go watch Welcome to Wrexham.
Oh yeah, I was saying in 2K.
So good. Feel good.
The Suns about to start putting that work on Phoenix now. F. Robert Sarver. That's all.
That shit's horrible.
I read that in 2K you can actually change like the history of some of these basketball teams. So like you can have it so that the Kings never moved to Sacramento.
Yeah,
maybe you can have it
teams.
so the Suns never had Sarver. Is that possible?
You can change the owners of the team or the governors of the team, but they make them fictionalized versions of the actual ones. So it's not going to say Robert Sarver, but I'm still just going to replace it because it's meant to be a Robert Sarver stand.
Yeah.
Or I'm just gonna nerf his stats and make him just like actually he probably already has trash stats.
I don't know. They committed to making their workplace better, so it's on them now to do it. Because it sounds like it was a trash fucking place to work for a long time.
Once some of the endorsement people are already like, hey, yo, one of the minority owners already called for his resignation. People with PayPal, one of their sponsors said we ain't gonna renew your contract if y'all still. So hopefully this is like a bad PR, cost them money, and then that's what gets them out because nothing moves mountains. Like, hey, you can't F up the money. If you're gonna be horrible, don't be horrible in a way that costs us money.
You're
like,
not wrong.
dang,
you're not wrong. All right. Well, we'll be keeping track on all our shows. I mean, there's just 1,000 freaking shows going on right now that we're trying to keep up on. It's just impossible to do. But we're doing our best.
Movies are gonna start coming out.
Oh
Damn.
my god!
Oh
right.
god.
Well, pretty soon we should be able to wrap up. She-Hulk will start approaching its end. Harley Quinn just approached their end, so we'll talk about that on an upcoming show. I don't even know what else. We probably got to revisit
House of the Dragon, Rings of Power, House of Dragon.
Yeah, so we got all kinds of things we got to talk about coming up, and I'm excited for Andor for sure. I'm doing a Savon. I'm not even looking at any more trailers. I saw the first one a few months ago. I'm done. I'm committed to the show, so I don't even need to see anything else that's coming out.
Abbott Elementary season 2 coming out upcoming week.
Oh, so soon for that.
Shout out to Quincy Brunson for the what's the TV award? Emmy.
Yeah, she got an Emmy.
For the Emmy,
and the other teacher, the more experienced teacher
who plays Barbara. I forgot her name.
Oh, her speech, her acceptance speech. She sang a hymn. Like, woo! Damn, that
sang a hymn.
Yeah.
Yeah, she can. I know she's like a.
She was like in character.
No,
when she accepted her award.
No, I think that's
Cheryl Lee Ralph.
Yeah,
go
she
can sing in real life. Like that's just like I think she's just she's a vet. She got that pedigree. She's been in this game.
She got a powerful voice. I didn't know she had a singing voice.
True
I guess
to this,
she
not
comes
new
from
to
like
this.
a Broadway like stage background too, so she can sing. So she just went up there and she didn't do a speech. She just sang. It was pretty good. I was like, oh damn, that's unusual, but very, very, very powerful.
Hell
stuff
yeah!
There. All right, y'all, we gotta go. This is what we're loving. Have a good one. See you later, guys. Bye.
You're welcome.
Thanks.